Good afternoon. Addis Ababa is hosting the third Financing for Development International Conference from the 13th to the 16th July. I am here with Mr. Ambassador Dorey to help us understand about the FFD, what UK's interest is in all of this, and his plans for the week. Thank you, Ambassador, for your time.
My pleasure.
The first question is, what is the FFD?
Well, as you said, this is the third big Financing for Development conference. It's a huge global event. There's going to be heads of state and government attending, as well as all of the big UN institutions and the international financial institutions, as well as non-governmental organisations and representatives of the private sector as well. So quite a varied cast list, and originally we were being told some 7,000 people might come to Addis Ababa as delegates. I think now the figure is about 5,000, but even so, that's a huge international gathering and a very big challenge, but I believe the Ethiopian government are up for that challenge, and it's very appropriate that they should be hosting this third FFG conference, because they've really done so much to alleviate poverty over the past decade in Ethiopia, but progressively they're playing a more and more important role, not just regionally but internationally when it comes to development issues, taking quite a lead, for example, on climate change matters. So I think it's quite a testament to Ethiopia that they have indeed been asked to host this event.
So what do you think the conference will actually achieve?
Well, we're at something of a crossroads when it comes to international development at the moment. We've had the Millennium Development Goals, which have been very important and significant. For example, Ethiopia is on track, I think, to achieve some 7 out of 8 of the Millennium Development Goals. But the MDGs come to an end this year, and we've really got to get in place the finance and the policy that will enable us to deliver on the post-2015 development scene, and in particular to create some sustainable development goals that will take us into the future, but actually eradicate poverty once and for all. I'm very struck by the fact that by 2030, almost all of the poor people in the world are going to be in Africa, and many of them will be living in fragile states, and we've got to do something to deal with that huge problem. The Financing for Development Conference is not just important in itself, by the way, but it will also give us a basis for moving into a number of other major international conferences and summits which are taking place in the next year. So we have, first of all, the UN General Assembly in the autumn in New York, which will I believe and hope will reach agreement on the Sustainable Development Goals. And then we have the meetings on climate change in Paris and trade in Nairobi at the end of this year. And then next May we have the Istanbul Humanitarian Summit. So there's an awful lot to play for going forward. And what I hope we will see as a big achievement this week is an agreement on the finance and the policy. And of course it's very difficult reaching consensus with so many players, but it's really critical that we do so. And an awful lot of hard and effective work has been done already in New York to put us in a situation where hopefully we're going to see a very good agreement come out of the Addis Ababa FFD conference.
What's UK's interest in all of this?
Well, we're one of the few developed countries in the world which have both embraced and are delivering on the 0.7% of GDP development goal. That's what we are spending at the moment on development internationally. It's well known that our biggest bilateral development programme in the world is actually here in Ethiopia as well, and we're very proud of that programme and what it's helping to achieve. What we need to try and do here this week is to try and get other donor countries, including southern donors, to reaffirm the commitments they've made already, but build on those commitments as well, so that we have more people contributing going forward into the future. But also we need to understand that development in the future is going to take finance from a number of diverse sources, not just donor assistance, but also domestic resource mobilisation and investment by the private sector. And there'll be a number of discussions this week going on around those very varied forms of finance. But also for us, it's not just important to get the finance right, but the policy right, so that we actually see more effectiveness when money is being spent, both in country but also internationally. So we want to see improved delivery of the agreements that will be reached this week.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Well, it's a lot of work, but a lot of the hard work's been done already in preparing for this event, and I hope this week is going to go extremely well, as I expect it to. We have our Secretary of State for International Development, Justin Greening, about to arrive in Addis Ababa to lead our UK delegation throughout the week. That's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of events, something like 200 side events apart from the main plenary sessions, and obviously we'll have to pick and choose a little bit which ones are important to us, but we will be attending some of those important meetings. I'm very keen to attend the one on illegal financial flows, for instance, which feeds into some of the work that we've been doing in the African Union. So yes, a lot of hard work, but I hope by the end of the week we will see an agreement which makes all that hard work worthwhile.
Thank you very much for your time, Ambassador.
My pleasure.